George Ain't Shit. This is the Loc'D Booktition, and we're going to talk about Ta-Nehisi Coates and his new book, The Water Dancer. I myself am a fan of this author. I've read Between the World and Me, We Are 8 Years in Power, and I think that this author has a powerful voice and is something that needs to be shared. 1. George Ain't Shit. Yep, I said it. I felt so hurt when he snitched, and I get, at that time it was a survival thing. It's like, if I didn't tell on you, then there would be repercussions on me, and you just have to survive. But the way he snitched on our guy Harriet, I felt that through my spirit. And then, poor Sophia, not knowing that Sophia had other reasons of why she needed to flee. It was just a lot. So let's just pause here. The Water Dancer is a book talking about this guy named Harriet. He is a descendant of a African slave and also a slave plantation owner. His mom got taken from him at a young age. He had a lot of anger towards his mom. He couldn't really remember his mom. A lot of the stories about his journey and his relation to the Underground Railroad. It's not called the Underground Railroad in the book. It's just basically called Underground, but it takes you through the people that he's loved, the losses he had, and him trying to prove himself, and him trying to make his way back to his love, Sophia, but starting to think about the different facets of womanhood and how you can't just possess a woman and she has to want to come to you out of your own volition. So the story is also kind of a romantic story in a way. There's a lot of hardship in the story, but what I loved most about how the author didn't make the story seem so dire as other authors have done in the past. For example, one of my favorite authors, Colton Whitehead, wrote a book called The Underground Railroad, and it was just a lot of hard truths happening in that book. And not saying that that's also not happening in The Water Dancer. What I'm saying is that sometimes you want to have a balance between hurt and love, or hurt and rejoicing, or just different type of emotions. But I commend the author, Ta-Nehisi, Mr. Coates. I'm going to call him Mr. Coates because I do not want to butcher his name again. So I really appreciated the way that he wrote each character in a way that brought life to the book. Personally, I felt that the story would have been just plain without Aretha or Agatha. I forget her name, but it starts with an A. Like I've already said, I suck with names. So I think her relation to him, Harriet as being his Sodu mom, and being there for him in his time of need, and also the way that she stuck to him, and in a way that was very mother-like because her children was taken from her on the plantation, and everything that she had to go through, and how hard she was trying to buy her freedom, and all the unfortunate events that happened to her, and Harriet at first not realizing what she has done for him, and how she has mothered him, and him on his journey of always remembering the wrongdoing he did to her, and him trying to repent and ask for forgiveness and those type of things. Another one of my favorite characters was young Caroline, the little baby, because that child, I felt, was a perfect example of Black women bodies not being their own, and that's a perfect example of Black women bodies not being their own in that time period, and in many ways today, because there's so many levels to that I won't get into, but how Sophia was, on this plantation, and, Harem's father violated her, and as a result of that violation, she had that child. And even though that Harem was not, Carolyn's biological daughter, he still was like her father and took care of her. And I just felt that each part of the book was necessary. Like, the hardship that Harem went was necessary. The things that Harem father did to Harem was necessary. And I'm saying necessary that it's each part really made the book just synthesized in a way that I thought was beautifully written and easily to understand. So if you have not gotten a copy on The Water Dancer, please get it. It is a unbelievable depiction of a real life story. And so you would read at the end of the book of who that story was inspired by. And I think a lot of times we need those stories, and those stories matter.